Most of us become vets because we care about animals. But the question is, after being a vet for some time, do you still care? And if you don't care, well, why not? Caring can manifest itself in a number of different ways. I mean, obviously, as you go into a consult, you care. You're going to make sure that that animal gets your full attention. You're going to make sure that you give that person, an adequate amount of conversation and discussion and so on. Everybody cares in that way. But I think it's the follow-up aspects which are really easy, I suppose, to get a bit lackluster about. So, for example, if you euthanize a pet, do you care enough to send them a card afterwards? If you treat an animal with an unusual type of condition, such as a manifestation of itchy skin that you haven't seen before, or some other odd sign which is perhaps not run of the mill, do you care enough to call them back in a week or in 2 weeks? Or when it comes to the staff in your clinic, do you care enough about them that you'll stay on for the extra 10 minutes at the end of the day to help them tidy up? Or do you care enough that you'll always make sure that your workplace is neat and tidy, and that you do aspects of your work to a high enough level that it demonstrates to people around you that you don't just care about doing what needs to be done, but you care about them enough to do the extra bit. So what's the most common reason for people to stop caring? I think the main thing is when the work-life balance goes. I think for me as a vet, certainly, for the first decade of my working career, I loved it. I really enjoyed it. And because I really enjoyed it so much, I cared an awful lot. But then after 10 years, would I been working 10, 12 hours a day, 5 days a week, plus weekends, plus nights, I just got tired and I got bored and I got burnt out. And when that happened, I guess I stopped caring because I just didn't have it in me anymore. It was kind of like a form of compassion fatigue, I suppose. So for me, what I had to do was to review my work schedule, and I was in a fortunate position that I was able to work less hours, and to do less on call. We had an emergency clinic come into our part of the world, and that meant that we could actually stop doing on call, and that made a huge difference. And I was, I suppose, able to start caring again. Now, I make it sound like a conscious thing. You can choose to care or choose not to care. Actually, I don't think it is so much that. It's more that if you're in a job which you enjoy, where you get enough stuff going in your life apart from work, and where your working conditions are reasonable, then you enjoy it more. And I think as long as we're all enjoying our work, then naturally we're going to care about it as well. It's when you lose the enjoyment in work that the caring is more difficult to maintain. I think it should be an ambition of all of us to continue to care. I think that you know yourself that when you stop caring, some bit of you inside, that little voice in your head, it does say to you, this isn't quite right. I'm not quite coming up to my potential here. And, that's not a good sense to have inside you. And I sometimes think that the broad idea of not caring anymore is something which works away inside your head, and perhaps it's the first sign of, I wouldn't call it mental illness or a psychiatric issue, but I would say it can be the first sign that you need to look carefully at yourself to make sure that things are moving in the right direction rather than the wrong direction. We all know that psychiatric issues, addictions, depression, all of these things are common in our profession, and perhaps that symptom of not caring is one of the earliest aspects of that we should be looking out for. Again, I make it sound as if this is all completely within your control. It's not always like that, is it? Because maybe you're in a workplace where the boss expects you to work these long hours. Maybe you're faced with work practices, I don't know, 5-minute consults, working perhaps without the sufficient lay support, different reasons why you may find that, for those aspects, things you can't control, you stop enjoying what you're doing, and therefore you stop caring. And I guess I'd be saying to folk, if you do find yourself in a situation like that, then maybe you should look at looking for a new situation. I'd be a strong believer that we each have individual preferences and ways that we like to do things, and things that we're particularly good at, and we have our own strengths and our own weaknesses, and that the main mission for all of us as vets, or as whatever we end up doing in life, what we should be doing is trying to find our own individual niche. We should be expressing through our work the way we are and what we're good at. And that can mean trying different jobs, different situations. But when you get there, as long as you don't go overdoing it by working crazy hours and putting yourself under crazy pressures, then you should be able to carry on enjoying the work. And therefore, you should be able to carry on caring. We're a caring profession, and it's disappointing when we stop caring. And I think one of the key ambitions for all of us is to make sure that we organise our workplace and our work time so that we carry on caring. Listen, I'll talk to you again soon, but I just wanted to send out that short video today. Thank you.